Hey there, everybody. Captain Media back at it again with another review for webcams for you guys. So if you are a new streamer and you're looking to get an entry-level webcam, or you're trying to step up your game from your entry-level webcam, the one that you got that was a really good deal on Amazon, or you're trying to get into content creation, you're trying to do something that is going to up your production value, stick around. I might have something that you might want to take a look at. All right, guys, so we're back at it again. We're doing these reviews, and I have a webcam for you today that has been brought to us by the good people over at Mosonth. 100% transparency. Mosonth reached out to me and wanted me to do a review on this webcam. I did a review on one of their earlier model webcams, and they liked my honesty and what I thought of the product, so they wanted me to take a look at this new one that they have coming out to us. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed by this webcam, especially for the price point that you're gonna get this webcam at. That previous webcam review that I did, you can go ahead and check it out. It's gonna be a card up here in the corner. It's a pretty decent webcam. It's actually the webcam that John the Bot, Captain Media Jr., he streams with. So still running strong, still going. But today I'm going to be bringing you something that's going to be in the 60 frame per second category. This webcam can be found right now on Amazon for about $49 if I'm not mistaken, and it is in the category of the C921. So you're talking about a $49 webcam versus a $100 webcam right now, with the prices and the way that they're going for webcams. So this is a pretty good deal to take a look at. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what you get inside. So as you see here, you get a pretty nice full colored box. It's got some writing on the side of it. It's got its SKU code. Mosonth, got some information showing you some of the details of the webcam itself. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. As you see, it is in a little protective bag here and a little shelf that is hiding everything else. Go ahead and remove that guy. So what you get is the webcam with the cord. The cord is not detachable. You get a little stand, a little cleaning cloth, a little stretchy, and a user's manual. So I'll go ahead and take this bag off here, and what you get is the webcam itself. So like I said, it does not have a detachable USB cable. It is USB 2.0. It does come with a stand that does grip onto your monitor pretty darn well. So as we see here on the front, it's got some protective film on the actual camera sensor itself, as well as the light. The mount that it comes with holds onto monitors pretty well. It's got little sticky pads on there to make sure it's not going to shift or move on you. As you can see, the camera does pan and tilt freely with no issues. That is satisfying, and also satisfying. And the pièce de résistance, yes. It does come with an included privacy filter that is toggleable from the top, on and off. And the lighting source right there, if you can see the little icon on the bottom, is touch sensitive. So that touchpad will turn it on to the 3 different color modes. So unfortunately, I don't have a detailed list of sensor size, what kind of encoder it uses, how it does all the stuff behind the scenes. So we're just going to go based off of the description in the Amazon posting for it, and we're going to move on from there. So the first thing is that everyone's going to notice is it has a light, right? So this light has 3 different color temperature settings, and it's able to be adjustable between all of those brightnesses. So you hit it once, you get the really cool white. And if you hold and press and hold the touch sensitive portion on the bottom, it will change the actual brightness. So the brightness goes down, and then we will push it again, and the brightness will come back up. And of course, it does have memory. So the next one is going to be more of the warm light, which we'll really call it the orange light, because it gives off a pretty orange hue. You can see it here on my hand. It gives off a pretty orange hue. But again, it is adjustable with this, making the brightness a whole lot different. And then down here is the last setting, which was really bright. And as you can see, I went to it, it already is dimmed down. So makes it a whole lot easier to save your settings for when you are running with the lighting sources. So pretty good. And might I add, this is one of the things that I recommended to Mosonth, that they either drop the light completely, or they need to make it much brighter. So this, they have gone through and they have made the light pretty bright for streamers. So if you guys don't have a light source or you don't have a ring light or anything like that, this could be a really good mix between both worlds. You just might have to supplement it with some other kind of lighting, but A+ on Mosonth for listening to what people are asking for. Next thing down the list on this is a 1080p 60 frame per second webcam. This is what I recommend all people who are purchasing webcams. They need to target getting a 60 frame per second webcam, most notably because you can dial the FPS back down. So you should always try to match your camera's frame per second with your gaming frame per second, because if either one of those are different, people are going to notice it. So getting a 60 frame per second camera is going to set you up for when you're streaming at a lower quality. You can bring your camera frames down, and then when you start picking up, you start being able to stream at higher qualities, you can bring your camera level up. So that is a really big plus for this camera, especially at $50. Like I said, it does come with a included privacy filter, and it is embedded inside. So we have the camera open, and there's a little switch here on the top, and all you got to do is just flip that switch over, and the camera is now in privacy mode. Pretty easy to operate. Yeah, I like it. So it does come with 2 built-in dual recording mics, as it is advertised on Amazon. I never really use webcam microphones for recording, like if we're doing streaming or YouTube content, things like that. But definitely for conferencing and Zoom calls, those would be probably pretty good for that. And of course, this model is USB plug and play, so it leverages the existing driver on the Windows machine or Mac, whatever you're using. It will leverage that existing driver. And this model is the autofocus model, so you got that going for you. So what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we're going to be comparing this Mosonth webcam, the 60 FPS webcam, to my streaming camera. And this isn't totally a fair fight, but what I'm going to show you is how you guys can get pretty close to the same kind of quality, clarity, and color that you get with a higher end camera. So I use a GoPro Hero 7 Black for my streaming camera, as it is an upgrade from the Brio that I've been using. And we're going to try and make sure that we can get this to work. My plan was to get this this kind of cheapy webcam, this no-name webcam. I was going to pit it up against that, also a purchase from Amazon. I think this is where every streamer starts. They say, how much is that? $30? Let's get it. Let's go for it. It died while I was setting up the source. So don't go for the cheap $30 webcams, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to pit these two against each other. I'm going to show you kind of some of the things that you want to look for in getting these things set up properly. So this is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to see as soon as you, like, this is just plugging the webcam into the computer. This is exactly what you're going to get. And as you can see, it looks weird. It's going to freak people out. Like, I spent money on this, and this is the kind of quality that I get. I mean, as you can see from my streaming camera, the lighting is good. I got this light. I have another light up here that's focusing light down on this side to highlight the shadows from behind me, so you can separate yourself from the background. So this would freak a whole lot of people out. Now, the thing with webcams is when they come by default, they have a whole lot of settings on that are not going to be the ones that you want for streaming, like in a dark room, right? So in here, we have a dark room. I have a LED light highlighting the corner. I have my little laser light show thing, putting the stuff on the world map over there, and then my 2 stream lights. That's it. The rest of the room is actually relatively dark, so it's hard for the sensor to pick everything up, so it overexposes everything, and you get this whiteout. And as you can see, it's not the greatest, right? So you can see some of the frames in between there because the camera's working really hard trying to capture the image on the sensor. So I'm going to show you some quick and easy things to make this webcam look a whole lot better. Now, every one of your scenes are going to be different. So if you stream in a room with brighter light, it's not going to be the same setting. So these are just going to require things for you to play around with. But I'm going to show you some of the key things you want to do. So you go into your camera settings, okay? So you'll bring up the little icon. When you go into your OBS, you'll have the option to configure video. You're going to click that, and it's going to bring you to this screen right down here. So what you're going to want to do is, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to camera control. You're going to turn off autofocus. So autofocus messes with a lot of people, especially if you like to move around a whole lot. It can mess with how everything is supposed to look. So see, when my hand got really close, there's a lot of light. Those frames go away, but as you bring it back out, it's going to refocus and it's going to rechange all the lighting. You're going to turn autofocus off, okay? The next thing you want to do is turn this auto exposure off. So once you click auto exposure off, everything's going to get pretty dark. But as you see, the frames pick up, so it looks a whole lot better, right? And this is where you're going to play with stuff. I usually go around 5. 5's pretty close, and that's not too shabby, right? So I usually leave the low light compensation on, and that's all you need to do here. So uncheck these two, and then we'll go back over here and we'll start messing with the colors and the light saturation. So another thing that everybody does is they leave white balance checked because it's hard. It's hard. So what happens if you leave the white balance checked like that is if I get my hands close, you can see all the other colors. They start to get a little different. Pull my hand away and the colors go back to the way they were. See how the colors go a little gray, pull it away, and the colors stayed permanently different. So this is something, see, now it's trying to autocorrect. The white balance is trying to correct the whole time. So what you want to do is you're going to uncheck white balance and you're going to have to mess with the slider. Okay. So the best thing to do is pick something white on your person. Like for me, I'm using the hat, and you're going to want to get that color as close as you can. So we're going to bring the white balance to where white is about correct. Yeah, probably right in this area. So the next thing I want to do is you're going to go to hue, and you're going to try and find your skin tone in here, saturation. And this, again, this is all just playing with everything. So you're going to give yourself a little bit of a tan. So as you can see here, I kind of fine-tuned the settings a little bit, and we're getting pretty darn close to a very similar image. Now, the thing that makes this unfair is the camera on the right is a GoPro Hero 7 Black going into an Elgato 4K cam link. So this is a $400 camera setup. It's not a weird flex. I'm not trying to be that guy, but it is what it is. So it's a $400 camera setup, and it's taken a lot of time to get the filters correct on this camera. It has taken a long time to get all the settings in the camera itself properly set up, especially streaming in a dark room like this. That's a $400 setup compared to what you're seeing on the left, which is a $50 webcam, which in my opinion, if you look at these and where they are side by side, it's pretty amazing the kind of quality you can get from a $50 webcam these days, especially with this Mosonth one. I think they've done a really good job listening to the people that they've asked to review their products and then acting on the improvements that they suggest. I think it's a wonderful thing, and it's something that I think companies in the future should definitely be looking into. So I'm not trying to make this a hashtag ad for Mosonth, but good on you. One of the unfortunate things, though, is that you see on the right, the GoPro has an immense field of view. So this is actually the smallest setting that you can go on a GoPro, which is the linear setting, whereas on the webcam, the one on the left is a 65-degree field of view. This is one of the negatives that I do feel I need to point out on this webcam. So you're not going to get this grand wide shot like you see on a lot of the YouTube videos that I produce or on the streams that I'm in. You're not going to get that wide angle shot with this. Now, of course, you can plan around that, plan your overlay differently, and you're not going to have any issue with that. Or, you know, just plan for all of your YouTube content or whatever it is you're using the webcam for to be kind of a closer in shot. It's no big deal. It's just something that I think everybody should be aware of. Now that we're totally on the Mosonth webcam, I know everybody's wanting to know, is the light that's on the webcam strong enough to be your streaming light, especially if you stream in a dark room like this? So not everybody streams in a dark room, so this isn't going to be applicable to everybody. This is just my style and the way that I like to stream, but it's a good test to see if the light is bright enough to pick up and clearly show the subject. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to switch off the key light, and we're going to be going fully on the Mosonth light that is attached to the camera. So 3, 2, 1. And unfortunately, it's not completely bright enough. However, if I were to turn this light off, it would be far worse. So in all honesty, not too shabby. So if you had some other accent lighting you want to put on in the background to light up the background, you may not be able to completely fully rely on this camera. You may have to get another key light, but it's a step in the right direction, and it is far brighter than the previous version of this. So good on Mosonth for that. So whenever I'm recommending webcams to people or cameras in general, there's a couple of things that I want to make abundantly clear to everybody who's in the market. So sometimes people see their cameras and they don't like the way that the picture looks, or they think that their webcam is a crappy webcam, or they have some sort of weird glitch, or they have there's a multitude of things that it could be, right? The first thing that I tell everybody is they need to upgrade their lighting source first. So lighting is what makes the cameras look good. If I didn't have this light here, the GoPro footage wouldn't look very good. As you can see with the webcam looked terrific until I turned the light off. You turn the light off, It no longer looks as good as it did. So lighting is more important than your webcam. Once you get the lighting and then you're unhappy with everything, that's when you should start looking into a webcam. So if you guys are in this scenario, then I 100% recommend this Mosonth webcam. I think they've done a fantastic job. They've listened to everybody. My feedback from them last time was a brighter light in the camera, which they have accomplished. I still think they have a little bit of ways to go with that, but it's a dramatic improvement over the previous model, and I give them kudos for that. And I also requested that they do an extended cable. So the other cable is only about 3.5, maybe 4 feet. This cable is definitely a 6 foot length. I think they've done a great job. It's going to make it able to be put into another position, especially if you have your computer on the floor or somewhere further away from your monitor. This is going to give you a little bit more expandability, a little more utility with your webcam, being able to put it wherever you want to put it. So I think they did a terrific job. I'm going to 100% recommend this, especially if your other option to get a 1080p 60 frame per second image is going to be going with the Logitech C922, which is going to run you $100 at the current moment, and this webcam is going to run you $50. So you're getting very similar quality. The color correction may be a little bit better on the Logitech, but in all honesty, if you know how to use filters or LUTs, any kind of stuff like that in your Streamlabs or your OBS software, I think it is a negligible point. So I 100% recommend this webcam. If you guys please could go ahead and leave a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever there's new content coming out. I really appreciate you guys. I also want to remind everybody that I stream at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm part of the Education Station. Myself, I'm the technical advisor for the Education Station, and my man Gorminator, he runs the marketing, how to get yourself seen, how to get yourself out there. So we're avid supporters of getting streamers on the right track, on the right path, and moving towards the goals that they've set for themselves. So if you have any questions about your streams, or you have any questions about technology, lighting, audio, any software or hardware issues you might be having, pop on over into the stream and get into the chat, and we'll see if we can get you on the right path. Thanks for checking us out. It's been Captain Media, and until I see you guys next time, game on.